Vloggerhead's video. A couple of subjects. I'll get to Amadeus at the end, so you can ignore that part. And so first, it's good to see Mel's basket case. Yeah, well, I wish you would have kind of, you could have said you'd give the camera to somebody else or something. There must be somebody you'd like to give a camera to. But I guess Frank's kid's gonna win after all. That's where we're heading. Yuck. Not that I have anything against Frank's kid, it's just the obvious connection, that Frank will look like he's sort of responsible for the gift, and that somehow he brought that bacon home with his wonderful writing skills. And, yeah, whatever. Like I said, I don't want him getting credit for anything. He's evil. Frank is pretty damn much evil. He's not as evil as this guy, but he's fucking evil. So anyway, yeah, and then Bella. Yeah, so Bella, yeah, it is kind of tricky, this whole, living in two worlds things. I find myself being less and less patient. In the last year, I screwed a really good, it wasn't a great job, don't get me wrong. It was kind of a crappy job, but I mean, it was, it was work, and you can't be throwing away work. As I just kind of got sick of an elitist asshole. And, yeah, I just kind of got sick of it. I said, fuck this. And I did to a couple other people, they wanted me to, help them with this internet stuff, and they're trying to just basically be spammers, and I'm like, fuck you. I mean, I'm being a nice guy, but I'm only going to go so far with this crap, and I'm not going to help you rob people. I mean, that's just bullshit. And, so on subject, though, because there's lots of subjects around this subject of life being stupid, and, we got to work for each other, not against each other. Yeah, but I do remember, I about a year ago, I met somebody who I hadn't seen in 25 years or something, a girl, and, I was trying to get, I was trying to get some years ago, and, we talked for a while. We were sort of friends, I guess you'd call it. I mean, I was heading somewhere else, but yeah, friend was okay. So anyway, I talked to her, blah, 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 and she talked about how it was her life dream to, she kind of wanted to have a kid, she wanted this unconditional love thing and all that crap. And I remember I was, scoring no points because I was, so friggin', oh, come on, you don't want to do this. This is really stupid. You're being selfish, and fuck that crap. Come on, get over yourself. Yeah, not really a great strategy. So anyway, I met her a year ago, and she's got two little kids, and, and husband doesn't look too happy. Anyway, I mean, it's just not a great, so, but I mean, yeah, she did what she wanted, she got what she wanted, and that's okay, blah, 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 but yeah, I mean, you can't really nag people, you can't really do much. I mean, all you can do is say to people who do make videos, who do put their face on camera and say preposterously stupid and imbecilic things. You can say to those fuckers something. You can call them assholes and get in their face, because they're just kind of giving people license to be assholes. And so, yeah, fuck them. Hit them with a stick whenever you can. But, yeah, in your real life, you can't be, you just can't live alone. Isolated. So you have to deal with a lot of people that are doing things you really don't like. I can't believe it. Somebody favorited this shit video. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it's shit. I mean, that's just terrible. Terrible. I haven't seen all of it. I saw the first minute of it when I was working on my computer. Yeah, I'm still trying to get this damn computer working. It's fucking goddamn Windows bullshit. It's just some subtle little thing. I got 4 hard drive copies of my operating system, and 3 of the older ones will run, but the fucking newest one won't run. And it's this is some little stupid error. It won't let me sign in. I sign in and it just signs me out again. I'm like, why'd you sign me out? And then I have to log in, and then it logs me right out again. I'm like, why are you doing that? I didn't ask you to log out. I'm logging in, you fucking dumb computer. I mean, it's really, I don't even know how computers can be quite that dumb. To write software that stupid. Oh yeah, let's instantaneously log him out after he just logged in. That wouldn't really make much sense. I mean, they ought to have something to just say, are you sure you want to log out? Like it's made a mistake and thinks I want to and I don't? Well, whatever, I won't even go into it. Yeah, okay, so on to the show here. On to this insidious monster. He does look very scary. So he has the suitable look for his philosophy.
I've been thinking about my latest argument with Amendum for a while now, and how to respond to his last video, which...
Okay, so this time you're not going to make any excuses, right? You've had 2 or 3 days to think about it, you just said. Okay, so now you're not going to have the excuse of, well, I didn't mean that, or I didn't mean that, right? You're not going to play that game anymore, right?
It was titled, I Am an Animal, something about his Vigo persona. In this video he calls me a racist, a Darwinianist, which I assume he means a social Darwinist. He insinuates I support eugenics, that my philosophy might be in line with Hitler's or Mussolini's.
Well, look, it's not that hard. These insinuations, I made the obvious connections. Every serial killer, every crazy deviant who does harm to things has to have your philosophy. That's how they can make it possible to do what they do. They couldn't do what they're doing if they couldn't find some way to get out of culpability for creating harm by doing harm. And you're the one arguing that it's all a matter of perception. I will explain to you how your perception leads to these very things.
And I don't really have time to address that kind of bullshit. And I don't want to bother you with it.
Well, whatever. The argument's going to be basically this, okay? Value exists in things. People have value. Not people you know. All people have value. All sentient, conscious human beings have a value they are generating and that you're obligated to respect. And it doesn't matter whether they're your people. It just matters that they're people. Likewise with animals. Whether it's your dog or not is really quite irrelevant. It is the dog itself that has substance. You're saying it's only your relationship to the dog that means anything. That the dog itself is a piece of shit. And that if somebody else chose to beat that dog to death, it would be okay. As long as it's not your dog. If somebody chose to beat another dog, identical dog, could it be the twin brother or sister of your dog? That would be okay with you. You don't care because you don't think the value is in the dog. You think the value is in your appreciation. And so by that logic, it is just obvious that if I don't have any appreciation, if I don't particularly like something, I can just discount its existence. And that would be silly. That would be as silly as a slave owner who says, well, my darkies are, I take good care of my slaves. Are making some kind of rationalization or excuse for their behavior. So that's all it is. But I'm just saying that's the implications of your philosophy. If you can discount the sentience in a dog, then you can discount the sentience in a human. I mean, you think there's a huge difference somehow in terms of their meaning or substance. I say there isn't. I say logic says there isn't beyond intelligence, taking an IQ test. And if that's all you value, then I'm just going to say you're a silly person. But you're also exactly the psychology needed to be a mass murderer, to be a selfish son of a bitch. You have the philosophy, obviously. If you don't feel an inhibition, you will do. I mean, that's what crazy fucks need as a philosophy, to be crazy fucks.
But the fact is, people favored this video. They comment and say, great job, Amendum. And his tactic in this argument has just been to smear the shit on.
That's a pile of crap, too. The argument's been made. You've made a silly argument that value is not intrinsic to the things that we define as having value. That women aren't inherently and intrinsically a substantive being entitled to respect. That blacks aren't intrinsically a substantial being entitled to respect, and that's why it was given to them. And that, yes, as our logic extends, we are evolving towards the same sort of reasonable perception of other sentient beings on this planet.
About a fourth of that video was calling me a fucking racist, a speciesist, a Darwinianist.
You can claim that, but that's not the truth. So you're a liar. Yeah.
And while I don't think we've even argued so far, I think I need to defend myself again. Because clearly you people support this behavior.
Well, clearly you were asking for a fight, okay? I thought it was over. You wanted everybody to believe that you misspoke, so I'll just play your original video again. How would that be? And I'll do it every fucking day if you're going to keep griping. And I'll show your quote again, where you said value is not intrinsic to the thing, okay, that's being valued. That the only thing that matters is what I feel. So if I have a relationship to the dog, my feelings are the only ones that exist. That is nonsense and silly. I'm going to point it out. And frankly, in all the people I've ever argued with about vegetarianism or animal rights, I've never met a character who would go as far as you have gone in terms of saying that they don't even feel, that their feelings don't even matter, that you could beat the dog if you want to, as long as it's not my dog. Nobody's been that asshole-ish. Only you. Bravo.
It's childish for me to continue responding. But honestly, I know how good it feels for Inmendum to have the last word on this. I've noticed how in the last...
And what, you're going to stop me somehow? It doesn't matter. I'll have the 1,974,000th word. I'll have the 1,000,000,000th word. Yes, as long as you are talking complete nonsense, I'll respond to your nonsense, and then I'll read some of the comments, some of them maybe. And maybe I'll find out who the fuck favored this crap. Yeah, and I'll find out how crazy they are, too, and talk about how crazy they are.
3 videos, even though they weren't directed at me, he slipped the little subtle insults in there about dog beating, as if that's what I ever supported. It's enough.
Look, you wanted me to play the video again. You said the dog doesn't have intrinsic value. Well, if you're correct and it doesn't have intrinsic value, then it would be perfectly correct to beat a dog, wouldn't it? If the dog itself is not entitled to not being beaten, if it doesn't come from him, if it isn't generated by its consciousness and its welfare, as you are claiming, then explain to me why it would be wrong to beat a dog. There would be no logical reason for anybody to have a prohibition. It'd be no different than beating a washing machine. Dude, is there anybody making videos about no one should be allowed to beat a washing machine? Has anybody made that fucking video, asshole? I don't think so, because that would be irrational. The reason why people don't think it's a good idea to be beating fucking dogs is because they think the fucking dog does have intrinsic value and that you're destroying and degrading that value when you are beating it, you idiot.
I asked a simple question in the video that started this all. I asked, why should we extend our morality or rights to animals?
Right, and you gave silly answers. You said, is it spiritual? Do people think the dogs are spiritual and the cows are spiritual? Or their life itself is sacred? Or some kind of mumbo-jumbo? And then you said, is it pain? Well, I don't think pain is relevant. Who's bothered with pain? How does that affect me? They're in pain? Well, so what? Who cares? It's not my problem. That's what you said, asshole! And you're still saying it. And I'm going to call you an asshole and humiliate you and laugh at you because you are more fucktarded than a guy in a white sheet, okay, talking nonsense. You are as fucktarded as a human being can fucking goddamn get and still speak English.
I think it's a fair question. I really do.
I think it's fairly idiotic. Okay, if you got these two choices and they've both been pointed out to you, and again, the argument has been made. What's your counter argument? You're saying a dog has he generates no intrinsic value, entitling him to respect. That women don't have intrinsic value, entitling them to respect. That black people don't have intrinsic value, entitling them to respect. That's your fucking ludicrous argument. That the only respect they get is because they are endearing. They rubbed a human being's penis the right way, and therefore they're worthy of existing, or worthy of being cared for, or worthy of not being fucking harmed. Retard.
Do you want to know why? Because a fuckload of Americans, hell, people all over the world, have meat in their fridge.
And that, again, we've already argued about the argument from popularity, right? That's just not going to work, all right? What's been popular in the past is now considered way out of bounds, okay? Child molesting, all kinds of shit was okay in the past, and it's not okay anymore because we know the fuck better, asshole. So that's a really, really, really bogus argument. You're going to come here and say you want to be a philosopher and you're going to argue from popularity? Well, then I guess I'm obligated to be a Christian if I live in the United States, right? Because most people are Christian. I'm obligated to believe in angels because most people believe in angels. Is that your fucking idiotic argument?
I do. Packet of ground beef. And a fuckload of us also have pets that we treat with love and respect. I know I do. I have a German Shepherd, and in the past I had a cat.
Okay, so there was 2 words there, love and respect. Okay, now, okay, so the love thing is the love thing. I say love is irrelevant to rights, okay? Whether you love something or not should be irrelevant to whether it has rights. So let's go with the respect word. What exactly are you respecting about the dog? If he doesn't generate any intrinsic value, if he doesn't have a welfare entitling him to respect, then what the fuck are you respecting, dickhead?
My shepherd is like a brother to me. I went back home and
Okay, and so if your brother was owned by somebody else, like your brother hung out across the street and you never really talked to him and you never really met him and you didn't love him or innately respect him, you would, it'd be okay for somebody to beat him to a pulp. That would be okay because he might be my brother, but I don't have any reason to care.
saw him just a week ago, and he's getting old, and it's really sad for me to see him. He's going a little bit senile now. I mean, that's another video, but
yes, and he's funny in dogs. Yeah, I mean, how can you can't see the hypocrisy of this. I care about my dog. All the other dogs, though, are completely different than my dog. My dog is special because I care about my dog. I mean, Bella, you keep talking to this asshole like he's a human being. He's more than 20 fucking years old, no doubt. And he can't figure this, he can't see this hypocrisy, and you think there's something worth salvaging here? Come on. This is so brain fucking dead. You're not going to regenerate this with a 10 million volts.
I love my dog. I would never harm my dog. So
I mean, you hearing that, Bella? I mean, are you hearing how this is just insane babble? I won't harm anything that's mine, but whatever happens to the rest of the dogs, who the fuck cares? I mean, come on, give up on this asshole.
Man, to hear you try and twist things like that.
I'm not twisting that. I'm twisting your rhetoric. There is no intrinsic value. That's what you said, asshole. You said it's okay to beat dogs. I mean, I have quoted you accurately and demonstrated how you are insane. Okay? You don't understand. I've said it clearly. You don't understand. You don't appreciate the most precious thing in the entire material universe. And that is the capacity for a consciousness to generate a sensation of horror and unpleasantness. And you have somehow not noticed that that's the most important thing in the universe. That is where all value, not just some value, all value is generated, is in the consciousness of sensitive creatures.
It's really amazing. I know there's lots of people like me who have animals, have pets, and still eat meat.
Yeah, that's right, and they're called hypocrites. And we've talked about it, that people acquire addictions in their life. I'm addicted to cigarettes. I don't advocate that anybody should ever start smoking. I would advocate a death penalty for anyone who willfully addicts a minor to cigarettes, who knowingly gives them their first cigarette. I would have a death penalty for any such asshole. So I'm vehemently against such crap. Now, there might be people who eat meat and they don't feel great about it, but they say, I'm like Arthur, I'm too old a dog to try that new trick. And that's the way it is. And then there's other people that just say, nah, it's just too much trouble. I know, I'm addicted. I'm going to live the rest of my life the way I am. And that would be fine. It's you people trying to rationalize and justify the behavior that are the assholes. You won't just admit your hypocrisy and say, yes, it's irrational behavior. It's not rationally consistent for me to say I love one thing because it has a collar around its neck that says Bid Bob on it, and I won't love the other thing because its collar says Do Bob on it. I mean, that's just fucking crazy.
Are we all assholes?
Preposterous ones, some of you. Some of you are preposterous assholes. Some of you just acknowledge the asshole and say, yes, I'm an asshole.
We all Darwinianists? Do we all support...
Do you hear other people coming on vloggerheads making videos defending or saying preposterous things like the dog has no intrinsic value, its welfare is not intrinsically important? No, you don't hear that. Okay, people understand their hypocrisy. They don't get on vloggerheads and expose themselves to the ridicule that they would get if they tried to rationalize their behavior, which they cannot. And so you're just being the special kind of asshole. So there's no point in trying to hide in your crowd of other hypocrites, because you're the hypocrite not acknowledging he's a hypocrite. You stupid fuck.
Hitler? Because we eat meat? I don't think we do in Mendham. I think a lot of us are just regular people without crazy philosophies.
Yeah, there's lots of regular people who do, on a regular basis, really stupid things. They waste resources that could, do other people an awful lot of good. They just throw very good, valuable stuff in the garbage. They're just very unmindful of their responsibility as they go through their life. They'll drive with bad brakes. They'll drive drunk. They'll do lots of irresponsible and stupid things. And so what, again, is this your defense? So you're going from the argument from popularity and the argument from popular irresponsibility. I mean, these are not philosophical defenses. These are fucking personal defenses. You're just saying, well, they're bigger crooks than I am. I mean, you know how stupid that sounds? They're bigger murderers than I am. I mean, that's not an excuse.
And we eat meat. And maybe there's some hypocrisy in this, and I think that's a good thing to explore. It might be a double standard. We just like...
It might be. I mean, you're going to talk on this subject, and it just occurred to you that there's the argument from double standard. I mean, that just occurred to you? You haven't heard that argument before? The argument from double fucking standard? I mean, it's the most dominant fucking argument made by vegetarians for vegetarianism, is the argument from double fucking standard, idiot.
Like cruelty to our pets. We would never inflict cruelty to our pets.
But we would let other people inflict cruelty to their pets, right? Because it's not about the pet. It's about the who owns it, right? It's about the owners. Idiot.
We think it's dangerous and vile when someone is cruel to their pet.
Dangerous and vile. So, okay, you're going to have to explain these words. First, the dangerous. I don't exactly understand how if somebody goes outside and kicks the cat across the fucking driveway, how that's dangerous. But the vile part I do get. It's vilely offensive to any kind of rational behavior. It's completely and totally retarded. It's so fucking stupid.
And yet we, as you put it in one of your videos, contract out the murder of millions of cattle. How can that be? How can we have that double standard? I want to know.
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to answer that for you. The answer, I've given you the answer, is because you're fucking retarded, because you're an idiot, because you're a moron, because you're a self-obsessed loony fucking tick.
I do, and that's a point of this discussion. I think, there's lots of answers that can be given about maybe
Yeah, maybe the value is intrinsic to the value possessor, the thing that generates the value. That's right. It's not all. The whole universe isn't a play that you're watching. The rest of the universe is the game. You're just a little piece of a little pawn.
The fact that my friend beats a dog would tell me a lot about his psyche.
What would it tell you? You said there's no intrinsic value in the animal. You said it generates no harm, is irrelevant. It's not a word in your vocabulary. There's no negative consequence to the beating itself. It's only about what he feels. Well, why would it be a bad thing then? So you're trapped by your own rhetoric. You can't claim. You're claiming two opposite things at the fucking same time. The law of contradiction, jerk. I mean, this like 3,000-year-old rules of logic. Get with the fucking program.
Whereas in a factory, a bunch of animals getting killed to be made burgers doesn't tell us as much about the factory worker's psyche, other than that they're doing their job.
Yeah, well, you know, again, you're not even going to appreciate the context of what a farm is, okay? Farm isn't execution day. Farm is the whole process of farming, okay? The genetic manipulation of the organisms into hideous beasts. So they'll have more flesh on them, and they produce gallons and gallons more milk. And then there's the confinement, the horrid confinement, and the forced reproduction, and all of that the animals experience, and the degrading and deplorable conditions. Go dry. You don't even have to go in to a chicken hatchery or whatever you want to call them. Just drive within a mile of one, and you'll get a whiff of what fucking reality that what it costs the animal for your satisfaction. It's not about dying. It's about living badly.
But someone going out of their way to harm their pet might tell us, wow, they're fucked up.
How so? It might tell us they're fucked up. I mean, you wouldn't say it's something they shouldn't be allowed to do. So, I mean, why are they fucked up? Why are they fucked up? If you're correct and the value doesn't exist in the thing itself, in its consciousness, in its welfare, then how the fuck are they fucked up? Because by your philosophy, if they choose to kick their washing machine, why shouldn't they be allowed to kick their washing machine? Why the fuck not, asshole? Why are they fucked up? If I kick the washing machine, you're going to call me out? You're going to say I'm fucked up?
Either way, your response was just to get butthurt, to be really sad about me bringing this up, to be really...
I'm not sad. No, I'm angry. I think you are the evil, okay, that my good is fighting. Yeah, that's right. You are the dark force all over the place. You're the fucking emperor, man. You are the exact problem with the human fucking species. You're an arrogant, ignorant, dangerous motherfucker.
Mad about me bringing this up. You went on an emotional tirade, but that's not a discussion.
Whatever, you can keep hiding behind, oh, Gary didn't somehow make an argument, but of course Gary did. So you want to worry about some emotional tirade now? You go back to Aristotle and find emotional tirade somewhere in there in the rules of logic. No, I'm afraid not. I can be as animated as I want. Okay, it doesn't fucking matter. I can do the whole fucking video in Bugs Bunny voice if I want to. The point is the argument, asshole, and you haven't responded to the argument. You can't defend yourself against the argument. Your defense was, well, I never said that. I never said that, when you clearly fucking goddamn said it.
Wild accusations aren't a discussion either.
Wild accusation, right. You said you don't see why it would be a problem if your friend beat a dog. That's what you fucking goddamn said. And your recontextualization was merely to say, well, if it was a popular opinion that it was wrong, then it would be wrong because it was popular. I mean, that wasn't exactly, and then, like I said, after you said that, you said right in text, in big, bold letters, you put it in bold, asshole, you said that nothing has any intrinsic value. That's what you goddamn said. You said a dog's welfare has no intrinsic value or meaning. Okay, that you may make up whatever truth you wish about it, because it itself, there is no truth. Okay, yeah, right out of memory. So I guess I better move along.
I just want the argument made to me. Why we have these strong emotional reactions. I don't want the reaction itself, rather. I want to know, why do I feel this horrible feeling when an animal is suffering?
Well, like I said, the nature of empathy, I'm not going to... You go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist and they'll explain to you psychology and how that we've sort of, over time, evolved to be emotional. That's what we are. We're emotional. That creates the motivation inside of us. We can't do anything without emotional motivation. You will not get off the couch unless you somehow emotionally motivate yourself to do it. You won't do anything in your life without that emotional stimulus. That is the spark that gets us to do anything, even philosophy. There has to be some sort of motivation for it to get done. And yeah, you don't want the philosophy to be colored by subjective, conditioned emotions. But that's where these words get tricky. Because some emotions are part of conditioning. Some come from the bottom up. Some come from the top down, where we visualize and then have an emotional response to our visualization, to our contextualization. The emotion isn't raw from the ground up, it's from the top down. And that's why you have it, though, is because your brain associates things with your own vulnerability, with your own capacity to be harmed, with your own capacity to love, with your own capacity to care. And what you do is basically take things external that you know are part of that collective, and you start to migrate your emotions to them. But you don't need emotions to understand it's wrong. This is where it's just stupid. It isn't about whether you feel bad about it. It's only about whether you recognize the fairness and the rightness of it. Okay? I don't have to like an animal to say, I don't like pigs particularly. Well, but yeah, I understand them to be what they are. I don't see them for what they are externally. I see what they are internally. I see their brain, and I see their capacity to feel and emote. And that's what I'm recognizing.
And the reason why we got into a distinction of bad and good was because, you say, well, we don't like suffering. We don't like... All right. Let's say I'm in a discussion with Gary or an animal rights activist. And I say, why shouldn't I beat my dog? And they say, well, fuck, man, because your dog is suffering. And then I say, well, why shouldn't my dog suffer?
Again, bellies, what's the point? I mean, it's anything that has to ask that question, anything that has to ask the question, why should it matter if something's suffering? There's no hope for such an individual. I don't know how he's experiencing life. Maybe he's black and white on the inside. Maybe there is no capacity to be harmed.
And I say, are you stupid? Because suffering's fucking bad. And I say, well, what's bad? Why is suffering bad?
Again, I really don't like to wish people ill, but yeah, I just wish you get it so fucking dumped on you. And it's so obnoxious even to say those words. Even to say those words in this world. I mean, no, I'm sorry. It's that, yeah, see, I winced. I'm having an emotional reaction to somebody trivializing suffering. Like they don't understand what suffering is? Holy fucking shit.
And they say, well, it's just bad. And it becomes circular. And it goes nowhere.
Well, I'm sorry. Like I said, it's the most important thing in the universe. I think most people, if I put that on a piece of paper, if I write it up in a little paragraph, they're going to say, yeah, suffering's goddamn important. Really, 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 really fucking important.
We both know how we feel on the subject, but we don't know why we feel that way. So bad and suffering...
Again, I know exactly why I feel that way. I know exactly how I'm doing the calculation. I have, from personal experience, know suffering to be really nasty shit. And I don't like to see it in any other conscious thing. I see that as an overt negative. I essentially, I create empathy by experiencing their experiencing of their suffering. I taste a tiny speck of it. I go into their self, and I taste a tiny speck of their fear, or their terror, or their pain, and or their general ache. A tiny taste of it. And then I know what it is. I got it. Yeah. I know that smell. I know that taste. And that's a bad thing. And yeah, if I could do something to stop it, what can I do?
Equal one another. I still need to know why we accept that axiom, suffering being bad, as a basis for an animal to have rights.
It's the basis, like I said, in my opinion, it's the basis for all value. There's all rights humans have, no matter, all rights are based on something's capacity to be harmed. If they don't have a capacity to be harmed, they have no rights, in my opinion. They have no need for rights.
Well, we're shifting things, so I need to know why the shift, why the change.
Again, it's not that complicated. Yeah, I mean harm. You just think about the word harm, and what is a harm? Oh yeah, that's a negative thing, a negative imposition of a pain or a suffering or a deprivation, a lacking, a wanting, a longing. I mean, these words aren't out of your vocabulary, are they? I mean, this is just so insipid.
Why the admission that suffering of animals is bad? Not just that it is, not just that you think so. Not that it hurts you inside when you watch an animal get beat, like it does me.
Well, again, it's not about your pain. Again, it's not. I'm not doing this because I am suffering. Alright? I'm angry. I'm not suffering. I'm fucking angry that some asshole would squander the most valuable thing in the fucking universe, you dumb shit!
But why? Why does it evoke that emotional reaction?
Again, if somebody has to have it nobody can draw you a picture, okay? Because everybody knows it from their own conscious experience. They know there's a good feeling and they know there's a bad feelings, okay? And they can tell the difference between the two. And there's no way they would vote for more bad feelings if they could vote for more good feelings. And it's that simple. The logic is just fucking 5-year-olds can handle this.
But we never move into that realm of discussion. Instead, we have to squabble about terms, about amoralism, and hurl shit at each other for fucking 10 days. And Amendum knows better than that. And so do I.
Again, you're making this preposterous claim. You're saying, explain to me what it is to be a feeling organism and tell me what pain is. I can't do that. If you don't know what pain is and you don't know it's intrinsically, inherently bad, I can't help you. I don't want to help you is what I'm saying. I don't see any point in wasting my time on you. You are such an uncommon, bizarre manifestation of the human organism that why would I waste my time working on you? Okay, I'm going to work on the models that have some kind of hope. Okay, you're way, 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 way out in some sort of bizarre dimension. Even what I would categorize as the biggest assholes on Earth can answer these questions correctly.
And I don't want to get into this, but for the record, Amendum and everyone else, I've been volunteering at animal shelters since I was very young. I used to collect recycling for the SPCA. I used to volunteer at the local cat shelter. And even briefly, I was a vegetarian for a while. And I remember doing speeches on animal rights in grade school. But I need to examine my motivations. I need to examine my emotions.
Well, like I said, I can't help you with that, okay? The examination is so simple and so obvious. I don't like to feel pain. I don't like to feel horrible. Why would I assume something else does? It's that logical, and why wouldn't I care if they do? It would be stupid for me not to. It would be insensitive and unthoughtful. The more thoughtful you are, the more capable you are of recognizing harm when it happens to other things. So I don't know why you volunteered for the ASPCA. I don't know why you did any of that stuff. Money, I guess. I mean, obviously, it seems clear that you don't understand what suffering is and have no capacity to say you want to prevent it in the world. You weren't trying to prevent suffering. You were trying to do something else, apparently.
Why? An argument isn't about how you feel. I mean, we can all comment on how we feel, but we need to talk about why we feel that way.
Well, again, you need to talk about it. Everybody else knows why. Okay, everybody else understands empathy and understands why, how it has a real parallel and common sense nature to it. I don't worry for somebody for things I don't worry about. You know what I'm saying? I project my perceptions onto the rest of the world, and so yeah, of course, if I don't like something, why I will not assume other people do. That's not going to be my first conclusion, and there's all argument, all rationality supports that basic theme. Okay, that all consciousnesses don't like feeling badly.
And if you can't handle a controversial topic making you feel a certain way, and if that's your only response, and it's too painful.
No, I made the response to you. I pointed out quite clearly that I think your preposition that value is not generated by consciousness is ludicrously silly. Okay, the dog has respectability by his nature of being conscious. When the dog is dead and lying on the ground, well, then you may do as you wish. Okay, but while it is sensitive, while it's on, if you're doing harm to it, you're doing something completely irrational and unreasonable and stupid and wasteful and plainly wrong.
To go and look into the heart of why you feel that way, then maybe discussion isn't for you. Honestly, maybe it's not.
Yeah, well, like I said, I will continue to discuss as long as you're going to keep bringing this stuff up. But yeah, this really is an argument of no value to 99% of people, even 99% of the people who tend to be casual, about how much animals are capable of suffering. Because, yeah, you've gone so far. You've just discounted the capacity of anything to generate value that way. And again, I would just argue that if everyone was to adopt your standard, where I will only care when I have an emotion, I will only respect an emotion. Yeah, that's how you create a huge opportunity for all the really bad behavior. That'll be the manifestation of that. So, fuck you. You're an idiot. You're a waste of time is what you really are. So, sorry to the people who had to watch this for no good reason, really. This argument really shouldn't even exist. It's just so obtuse and immature and beneath language even. It goes beneath language to have to explain why harm and pain and suffering are bad things. Yeah, I mean, it's beneath language. Yeah, so we're done. Okay. Oh, another hour, I guess, right? 50 minutes or so. Wow. Sorry. Till next time.